rolling, rolling, rolling.
About to go right. We're living all the time.
Yeah.
We're living all
Yes,
the
yes,
time.
yes. So,
Digital world.
so here we are. Here we are.
Live.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? How you doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. How are you, Empress?
Oh, be blessed.
Hearing the music.
And Empress Farah and Priest and Emperor.
The grand
GB. Yes.
engineer
Yes.
GB.
Yes. So everybody, this very special occasion. We're here at Caribbean Community Radio, and as you know, umbrella on the Community Concern for Children and Families. And we have in the house today, a long-awaited time, Dr. Atum Bookman. Yes. And his co-pilot and Empress.
Nunu.
Empress Nunu.
Greetings, family. It's a pleasure to be in the building.
Right.
Yeah,
Great. Right. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I need to
music.
be. Yes. You know that I need. So
You
yes.
can turn down the music also a
Yes.
little bit.
Is there a music playing
Mhm.
so the music is playing here, so is that going to
It's a jam.
affect our turn it down? Okay. So yes.
Ooh.
So is that good? Good? Are we good to go now?
Oh, clear now.
We're clear now. Are we
Real
good?
clear.
Very clear.
So we're live on radio all over now.
Coming back in.
I'm saying that we are now live on everywhere.
Okay.
All right.
So
Respect
we're
to the
not just
family.
on Facebook, we are everywhere.
Mhm.
So I just want to say this is a special moment, not special moment in the event of what's going on in the world, but also a very special moment to have Dr. Bookman, Atum Bookman, and Empress Nunu, his co-pilot, here in the house with us. And it's 2 years ago, right, that we did an interview, which was absolutely amazing. I think it was
Straight
two.
from the heart.
Straight from the heart. And I think it was two of them. We had Dr. April Brown in the
That's
on
correct.
with us, and it was so fabulous. And I said, I cannot wait for you to come into town so we can
Yes.
do a in the house moment. And here we are.
Quite some time,
Yes.
but we know that the divine never
Yes.
lates or
Yes.
is ever late on any time. So
Yes,
we are
God's
here
will.
now.
Yes. And so something just said to me last week. I said, you know what? It's that time.
Yes, reach out.
Let me reach out. And so when you responded, I was absolutely thrilled.
Yes,
Thrilled.
in sync.
Thrilled.
Coming into town the following week. So
Yes.
it was divine.
Yes. And Priest GB, engineer,
The grand engineer.
extraordinary, and everyone. Listen, I couldn't do this. Absolutely couldn't do this without the team of Farah and
Thank you
GB,
all.
Master B.
Yes, thanks, gratitude.
He goes with many names, and
Yes.
we actually met back in the days when GB and the team at Caribbean Community Radio and the Community Concern for Children and Families used to go out in the community and help during time of the hurricane season to help put up with the elderly community to help them with their windows and
Yes.
Oh, preparation.
yes.
Okay.
Community efforts.
Community effort, and that's how we actually met.
Yes.
And so the community concern for children and families, under which we are umbrella, continues to do that, and we want to expand immensely to do, as you say, local. But you used a phrase earlier on. Can you say that, Dr. Bookman?
We say that the mindset is global, but
Right.
the focus is local.
There you go.
Yes,
The mindset is global,
but the focus
but
stay
the focus
local.
is local.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that because
Respect.
I believe in supporting the local. And ever since I've had the opportunity to be on the radio, recognizing local heroes and the local regular people who uphold the community and perform heroic things and action and just uplifting the human spirit in our communities. I've always made it a point to recognize
Absolutely.
our people, and
Thank you for doing that.
yeah,
Yes,
it's
that's
a
very
duty.
important.
It's a duty.
Yes, it's a duty.
It's a duty. And so I when you said that phrase, I'm going to use it many times
Yeah.
and quote it
It's a
if
gift.
I may.
It's absolutely a gift.
Thank you
There's no
so
copyright upon that right there. But we know that we're the right ones to copy it if anybody else was going to copy it. So
There
it's
you
a
go.
gift.
Yes, bless. So
The mindset is global, but the focus
this
stay
is
local. That's
Yes,
right.
beautiful. So On our Facebook, the introduction, the title says, today we're going to talk about self-care. Tonight, actually, it's one of those special moments, and we're here. It's a Friday night in the station, and so you said self-care.
Yes.
And you gave me a funny spelling, CELLF.
Yes.
Care. And can I start off with that? Why that spelling?
Absolutely. So why this spelling? We this is to help the mind, especially those who are familiar with English. Before we even say the next thing, let us be mindful that we come in the name of our ancestors. We come in the name of those people who have triumphed before us, the people who were unwilling to pass before their time and continue to survive, the people who understood who they were, an indigenous people, the people who vibrated an indigenous vibration, one that is in tune with the earth, with the greatest gift that God has ever shared with us. We are so thankful to be the descendants, the ascendants, the people who come forward following our ancestors. So we greet them, welcome them into this space, and are thankful that we are here able to represent them. So self comes from who they are. It is known now, even in contemporary modern science, that the human body is composed of billions upon trillions of cells. And so these cells are working on your behalf, formulating organ systems, and then eventually coming together to make the human being.
Wonderful.
So the self is really focused around your physical self, right? Composed of these billions and trillions of beings that we know as cells. But it's not just the human cells, but also the bacteria at that level. There are many different types of cells. So you have bacteria, you have fungi, you have these different protists or single cell organisms. You also have viruses at this level that we're talking about, the microbial level.
Absolutely. So then we can talk about, they said something about the antigens.
Yes.
Is that a part of that? All
antigens.
That?
So antigens is absolutely talking about on the microbial level. When you're talking about antigen, you're talking about stopping the genesis, right? If you break down words, you go down to the root words. Anti meaning against or opposite of, and then genesis is beginning or starting of, right?
Wonderful.
So the antigens are the stuff that starts your system from it is recognized by your body system, and your body is starting a process of recognizing disease when they see an antigen, right? So it's stopping the process of you just being a normal living my life, and starting the process of, okay, there is something foreign that I must recognize here. Something that is start the process of recognizing disease in the immune system. So antigen.
Thank you so much for that explanation, because that word has been thrown around the television and I am thinking that in layman terms, people don't understand, the meaning of antigens and antibodies. And so we're getting this scientific definition of what's going on now. And I think that it's not broken down.
That's right.
For the common local people, even for the baby, not really, you know what I'm saying, to understand. And so it's been a contention of mine that when I watch the news, and I watch it all the time because I believe in being informed, whatever areas gather information, and then I take from the information what is prudent and what is good for me. And so when I'm listening, I'm hearing the scientific breakdown and definition, but I don't think that it is that it's broken down or explained to the form, or in the form where anyone
could digest it.
Exactly.
Right. So let me get there, right?
Yes.
So if we're looking at the antigen in that way, also we see like everybody can have a flag that they raise. If we're talking about Caribbean Community Radio, we know we have many different flags in the Caribbean that we wave, right?
Right.
So some of those flags that we wave is Bajan flag, Trini flag, Haitian flag, all type of flag in the Caribbean, right? So this flag is like the identifier.
Right.
You know this is from there. Right. This something belongs to this something.
Right.
All right? So when we're looking at the flag, that's the antigen.
Gotcha.
if the virus, right, has a certain antigen, or if your cell has a certain antigen, it means it has a certain type of flag that it's waving. Right. Viruses have a way of copying antigens, copying the flag to make it look like, oh, that's the flag. So sometimes you will see flag that look very similar. Right. So virus is waving one flag or is identical, and they waving the flag and they saying, oh, the cell says, you know what? Yo, you could come in here. You could come into this space. You could come into my cell because you have the proper antigen. You have the proper the proper.
They look like copyright infringement, right?
Hey, right. They infringing on your copyright.
Viruses don't play. They're pirates.
Right. So that's one way to interpret the antigen and what it can do, what it's recognized as in a microbial level. And when we're talking about microbes, we're talking about cells, we're talking about bacteria, we're talking about virus, the stuff that you need a microscope to look at. You need something. You need your spirit also to look at, because there's no escaping the microbial culture. There's always microbes around us. There's no amount of bleaching, Lysol killing, disinfecting that you can do. This is why on their products they will always tell you what, 99.9, because they can't guarantee no 100%. All right,
you don't need 100%,
and you never will want that.
Right?
Because
there's good bacteria.
That's right.
People have to understand everything bacteria doesn't mean bad. That's
exactly. Thank you so much. So I'm hearing if another term that came to my head when we were talking about copyright infringement. It's also wolf in sheep clothing.
Yes.
So here we are. These antigens that come from the COVID-19 come in as wolf in sheep clothing. So they come in looking friendly, to come in as friends, but they're actually foes. So to the body.
So to speak,
but they protect us too in a way, right?
If you want to speak on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the viruses in a way tell us that something is going wrong.
Right.
Something in your environment, in your life, in your food, in your growing process, in your society. If these pathogens and viruses continue to come year after year, that means something's not right.
You're absolutely correct.
They come to say,
warning.
You got an
warning.
Warning.
Warning. Two-shot buck in the air. Warning.
Mod.
It's some real things that you have to consider, because virus, the current theory, because we have one orientation that we must have if we're talking about the ancestors that come before us. We know that our ancestors absolutely have to deal with a thing that they call white man's world.
Okay.
Today, we are still dealing with this type of thing.
Absolutely.
Because it is the Eurasian countries and societies which are the dominant modes of operation globally. All right. So when we're talking about our Caribbean community, our Caribbean community is not considered to be the main or dominant mode of society and type of living throughout the world. All right.
I totally understand.
Why we take this orientation is because when we're speaking on viruses, in particular, for some clarification, there is coronavirus, there is coronavirus COVID-2, right, and there is COVID-19. Okay, COVID-19 is the name of the symptoms and diseases. All right. Coronavirus SARS-2 is considered to be the actual virus we're talking about, and coronavirus is the umbrella for any type of corona or SARS virus that they seen under the microscope. Okay. So when we're talking COVID, we're talking about the experience that you have when the virus comes into your system, and it causes you to be imbalanced to the point where you have disease symptoms that are recognized by yourself and others, because sometimes it come into your system and it don't give you no problem. Sometimes people are hosting coronavirus and they don't have no problem. So this is not COVID. This is them carrying as a host of coronavirus, but not experiencing the disease.
Is that what we call asymptomatic?
Asymptomatic, exactly. This is exactly what we would call asymptomatic without symptom, asymptomatic, aseptic without bacteria or infestation, asymptomatic symptoms. Yes.
Okay. Good stuff.
No symptom.
I hope, you know what, as you're explaining, my knowledge and my understanding, I'm getting wiser with all
Respect.
of this. And I hope that if you're listening, folks, we have Dr. Bookman, Atum Bookman, and Empress Nunu in the house. And breaking down what's going on in the media, the big screen, and actually breaking it down so that we the local folks can understand.
That's right.
Really what's going on when they use phrases and terms that are, I wouldn't say above people's pay grade, but it's not the common term of conversation.
Correct.
That we use
and for good reason.
Yeah.
For good reason. I think we're breaking it down so we can build ourselves up, right? And we're breaking it down because there's a way that the again, when we're talking about being in Eurasian societies and cultures, they use words that are scientifical, and they use these words that usually people who are studying 8, 10, 20 years of virology, the study of viruses, epidemiology, the study of how disease is spreading and disseminating. They are taking doctorates, which is at least 10 years of study in order to use these words, and then they throw them out in the public and say, "Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about?"
Exactly.
But you do know what they're talking about because it don't require those words. Everybody knows what COVID feels like when they experience COVID. Everybody knows what diabetes feel like when they experience diabetes.
Exactly.
When we're talking about viruses, we're talking about bacteria, we're talking about cells.
Yes.
You are that. So don't let somebody ever come and tell you more about who you are. Make sure you take the time to study. Make sure you take the time to know yourself, sit, meditate with yourself. Take time to study the books. Take time to study the science. But know that the absolute fact and truth comes from you asking yourself the questions that which then the divine will move through you to give you the answers.
You know what? Amen. You tell me. I remember saying amen before, and you broke me down and explained.
Amen. Yes. It's a proclamation, regardless of where we're coming from and how we feel. When we know, when we know that it's a call and response, this is what we do as an indigenous people. We call out and we respond back. Amen. Ashe.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Give thanks.
You know what? I thank you so much for breaking down this, especially this event, this time that's going on right now, into such a way that I myself can relate, and just based on what I've heard, because I have not, as you're rightly saying, is that I know about viruses from knowing myself.
That's right.
I know about these antibodies by knowing myself.
That's right.
And so when you're talking, I can relate, especially because I have allergic reactions to stuff. So I know red flags. I know when my body is reacting to certain things. So I can and you're absolutely personal experience come into play with getting wiser. And I love what you're saying about we should continue to educate ourselves.
That's right.
And to learn more self-efficacy, and to really to continue that mode, because we have to spend the rest of our lives with ourselves. And so we and so we need to make sure that we continue at all times and never give up on ourselves and learning more about ourselves.
That's right.
Because
one of the simple ways to do that is just ask yourself questions.
Ask yourself questions. Very good.
Don't just take any moment for granted. Ask yourself a question. Who am I? Where am I? Where am I going? Where am I coming from?
Absolutely.
What is this? What is going on around me? Ask yourself those questions. Don't just take it for granted that you're sitting in this chair and it's always going to work like that, right?
Absolutely.
Is this chair secure? The only way you know if it's secure is if you do the work to ask the question first.
Absolutely.
And then investigate if it's secure, right?
Absolutely.
So it requires work to be yourself, but it is not as much work to be unhealthy and diseased.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Exactly.
So it requires a lot more work to be outside of yourself, to be sick, to be unhealthy. You absolutely have to put energy into this being, which is the work transferring into this being in order for it to keep being and living. But it is less work than if you're trying to be an unhealthy person.
Prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely. Pound of prevention is or they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound in cure, right?
There you go. There you go. So, when you were talking about asking yourself questions, I remember I'm thinking about in the field of psychology and just the whole mode of counseling or just the behavior and patterns of behavior, thinking about always reflecting, self-reflection. And that's through self-reflection you ask yourself questions. Am I in harm's way? You know, and I just, that's what came to me when you were saying that, you know, am I doing the right thing for myself? Am I in the right place? Is what I'm doing safe for me? Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
I think we should put a list of maybe 4 or 5 self-care pillars that everyone can leave with today.
Ooh.
I think so. I think that would be awesome.
I'm with it.
Can you?
Yeah.
You know, Empress Nunu?
You got
Co-pilot is on.
I got it. I'm the co-pilot.
Yes.
So the first one we got was for self-care, reflection, self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Making sure you do that once a week. Journal, write down some journals. Just ask yourself some questions at least once a week. Okay, so self-reflection.
So self-reflection for sure. I'm gonna have to go with stay hydrated as the next one.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Stay hydrated out here because there's all kind of water that they say is water, but it's not really water. Sometimes you have water and your water have ingredients. Sometimes you have water and your water is not really water, but it's more like juice.
Yes.
With it, that's why the parents used to say, "You want some government juice?" You're thirsty, you want some government juice, right?
Yeah.
And they talking about water, they talking about city water because city water has to go through a purification process in which they wash the water, which is a strange concept, but they wash it with chemicals and all types of detergents and things like that to try and then cleanse it and purify it and throw it through filtration. So spring waters, natural sources of waters is best for you. Our body is over 70% water. Any way you slice the pie is more than half. So you need some water in your system on a daily basis. Being hydrated is what's going to prevent you from acquiring any disease or abating the progression of any disease if you have the proper hydration. Being hydrated is also going to stop you from experiencing one of the first features of dehydration, which would be fatigue. Okay, headache would soon come after that. So sometimes people are feeling out of whack. They're feeling down. They're feeling like they're sluggish and they don't want to just drink some water. And drinking water don't mean when I drink this piece of water here, I'm hydrated now. No. Hydration is a consistent thing that has to be done over days. Sometimes it takes proper hydration will happen over days, not just in an instant, not in an hour's time. It takes time for the body to regulate
it's funny
itself.
Because I was thinking if you eat some rice, that means you need to have
2 gallons. 2 gallons for the next day.
If you eat some chips, you need what?
You need water. So
how many bottles of water you need
if you eat a bag of chips? It depends on what size bag, but if you eat a whole bag, the big party family size, you probably need a nice gallon, right? You go for a swim, she said. Well, it's a good point because we're talking about foods that have been cooked, foods that have been baked, foods that have been fried, that have been sauteed, dried. At the end of the day, the water has been extracted out of that food, and so you have to have something to replace the food. And often those foods that have been dehydrated have also come with extra seasonings and spices that further dehydrate the food. Salt is usually an issue when we talk about foods, right? So this is very dehydrating because your body, water and salt is best friends in the microbial world, in the elemental world. When we're talking about the atomic level, water and salt love each other. They have a very particular charge that they use to regulate where each one is. Anytime you see salt, water soon come. All right. Because it don't like anywhere to be too dry. That's one of the properties of water. A very important thing to speak out to the family is what water is not just a drink. Water is mystical.
There you go.
Water is highly spiritual.
Absolutely.
Water is capable of carrying a memory.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. There have been our people usually open up any ceremony of prayer by pouring water. All right. Our people will make sure that we give respect to divine rivers, oceans, lakes, streams, running water, because we know that water is a mystical spiritual gift from God. This water is capable of knowing you. Before you drink water, pray about it. Ask this water to come into your system and hydrate your body. If it's the only water you can get, give thanks for that water.
Absolutely.
Don't be shaming the water and shaming yourself at the same time.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Be thankful for what you have, and the water will cleanse you. The water will help you be your best self. This is very important, because they seen that water, when you speak to water, water will listen to you. You can freeze water in crystals and make snowflakes. All right. There is a Japanese man by the name of Masuro Emoto, and he did this study where he was speaking words of hatred and anger into water, speaking words that would be negative in connotation. And when he froze the snowflakes and the crystals, he would see that these things look jagged and asymmetric. They don't look crisp and perfect, pristine. But when he spoke words of gratitude, and he speak words of power into the water and love, this is when you see them snowflakes looking clean and pristine. Right? So it's an idea, again, because we're talking about at the elemental level, at the microbial level, this stuff is happening. When you look it at the eye, you can't see all the bacteria and stuff that's on and around this bottle, but it is there still. So you can't see the gratitude that's in the water, but it's there still, because we love you and we thank you for hydrating your body.
Do you know, as you're saying that, I am thinking about the meditative, what we get from using water for meditation and calming ourselves. Rain.
The baptism.
Rain.
Yes. We was in the rain today.
The rain.
Wonderful.
And so when you think about, actually, when it was raining today, me and my mother we were sitting in the garage watching the rain and being so thankful. Being so sad. And my mom was amazed. She's like, look at and watching the green responding to the rain. And so you're absolutely correct. That's the spiritual level. I can so get that.
That's right.
And yes, definitely. And we talking about the water. I'm thinking about all the experiences of the historical reports of the water responding to command. Yes, for real. If you look at it, from the biblical times, and water responding to command, right? So
splitting oceans and seas.
There you go. You go. Yes.
This is a high frequency.
Absolutely.
But what we know is that if we dial in back the time, we know that we're getting closer to an indigenous vibration.
Yes.
We're coming back to the way that we have been being.
Yes.
And that type of high science is offered to us if we take the time to know ourself, CELLF. If we come and make the time to know our divine position in this universe and on this earth, we will be allowed into those secret spaces that are within ourselves, not found in libraries.
Right.
Absolutely. We're talking about where the truth is inside of you.
So what I'm hearing you say, that we're talking about water, it's H2O. And so the secret inside ourselves is to be able to break down water into the hydrogen and oxygen of itself, whereby we can relate to the effect of hydrogen and oxygen coming together to form whatever it forms spiritually, to understand it at that level, and even the elements from the very elements themselves. I don't know if that's
it's very powerful, because if we take in the water and we looking at the constituents. We're looking at the elements that are making it.
Right.
Oxygen and hydrogen, right?
Right.
Hydrogen, they'll say, is the first one.
Right.
Is the building block.
Is a building block.
Oxygen, they'll say, is coming later, 8 steps later, right?
Right.
Oxygen is a master disinfectant.
Absolutely.
Oxygen is a master hydrator.
Absolutely.
If you are breathing accordingly,
absolutely.
We're not talking about breathing. Breathing probably how you're breathing while you're watching and listening to this radio. We're talking about
taking in,
real oxygenation, real inhalation and inspiration. Inspire yourself to get higher on hydrogen and oxygen and hydrate yourself with the water.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is a whole next level when you breathe. So breathe. Take a nice divine 9. And breathe and take your time.
Yes.
Take your time to sit with yourself.
You make me feel washed.
Take your time to breathe
with water.
Yes,
beautiful.
That's it.
Beautiful.
This is a type of hydration.
Yes,
it's a type of hydration because
absolutely.
There's water in the air.
Yes.
There's oxygen that we are bringing into the system.
Yes.
To hydrate the system to make sure that virus know, bacteria know. If you're a foreign invader and you have the wrong antigen or you have a copy of what I'm making already, you better know it's time to go. So stay highly oxygenated.
You can't stay here.
Take your time. Sometimes you will feel lightheaded when you do this. If you don't do it often, if you don't do it, you're going to feel a way. You're going to feel that way that you're getting oxygen into your system.
You're going to feel strange.
So, you're going to feel strange. So make sure you're sitting.
Often.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't get enough oxygen in on a daily basis, and that's also causing cellular
disintegration. Breaking down. Yes,
absolutely. There's something that comes to mind. Get high on that. Children today, anybody who's if you're addicted to anything, get addicted to oxygenating yourself.
Yes, oxygen.
Yes,
beautiful.
It feels good. Like when you're really taking some big breaths.
Take big breaths.
Big breaths. Fill your lungs. Fill them up like you're filling up a gourd, a big glass of water.
Yes.
Feel that, right?
Yes.
It's something is coming. Yeah. If you don't practice, y'all need to be Oh, that feels good.
So that's number 2. So we have to go to number 3.
Well, stay hydrated was number 2.
Yes.
Stay active, number 3.
Stay active, number 3. And in correlation with staying active, staying hydrated, and reflection, we'll say breathe.
Yeah,
as just one simple one.
As hydration.
Okay. As long as the people co-sign it, right? Because this is not no tyranny or tyranny thing here. We're working with the people, so
definitely
send in your responses. Type in if you feel like there's some things that need to be on this Power 5.
Yes,
we're ready for it because we have 5 to make the powerful force and recommendations for the family. All right.
May I throw one into the bucket?
Come on.
Yes, I would ask myself, am I safe?
Ooh.
Am I safe? Am I feeling safe right now?
Yes, and that brings in the family planning you were talking about.
Security.
Yeah.
Because I feel safety is very undermined.
Yes.
For us as a society, we'll take things that appear to make us feel safe.
Right.
Like, I put that alarm system on my house. But if somebody really wants to get in, they can get in,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, one brick through the sliding glass door.
We're talking about the false sense of security.
The false sense of security. And really get back to that. First and foremost, your spiritual makeup and your safety ecology must be spirit-based first.
Oh,
because
I love
yes,
Empress.
So that probably spirit first.
Yeah, when you're talking about safety,
when you're talking about safety,
first.
I think that's where we go into spirit first.
Spirit first. Because spirit is what will take somebody who intentionally had an elaborate plan to ruin you and hurt you, and tear it down.
That's right.
Only spirit can do that. ADT can't do that for you. Okay. The people who came to rob your house, and then the gun jams up. That's ADT can't do that for you.
Absolutely.
Or you drop your bank card down, and then that stranger pick it up and give it back to you. Bank of America can't do that for you, because if they get it, Bank of America can't stop them from swiping and swiping. Only spirit is the truest form of safety. And then you build on your other things like family. I would say family, having good, healthy relationships, good communication, so that people can express and share what they need. You know, we have a hard time because, you know, we watch a lot of fairy tale TV, and it makes us think people just should know. No, people don't know sometimes. We come from different backgrounds, from different all aspects.
And then you have different life experiences of the family members. Wisdom from the elders. You have 5 fingers on your hand. Yes. Right? As we decided on these 5. Yes. Each one of my fingers is different size, different length, different height, and they all different looks, different strength in each one. But they all come together to make the hand. Yes. Right. So like the fingers, the family needs to come together to make the hand, because this is where we find the strength in unity. El unión fait la force.
That's your safety. Unity is safety. If you're walking around, your attitude so bad, nobody can get along with you. I don't care what good job you have. It doesn't matter what nice car you have. If you don't have family, you're vulnerable.
And let us think about it as we're talking about getting together with your family and organizing. This is no easy task in majority of cases, because many times we have different elements in the mind that are at play. We have people in our family that think completely different than the other people in our family. Right. So sometimes we have to find the common ground in that we are family. Right. So that we can speak no matter what the terms are, no matter which way that our family members feel. If we cannot get together just to respect each other, it's going to be very hard to do so. It's going to be very hard to make sure that we actually take the time to communicate as a family and community. Absolutely. So don't give up. And keep trying, because it ain't no easy task to get the family together and unify. All right,
it's a harder task when we're separate, though. That's actually the case.
It costs us much more.
It costs us much more time and pain when we're separated. So put that energy.
Yes, you know how the phrases come to me, so I'm thinking about safety in numbers.
Safety in numbers.
And that, if I take that on a microscopic, is in the household, and macroscopic as in a local, in the community.
That's right.
And worldwide as a people.
That's right.
As a people. And so if we're thinking community. And so if we're thinking about this, there you go.
Communion.
Yes. And if I were to connect that with what's going on in the event right now with this COVID virus thing, as a community, and safety in numbers is for all of us to do the right things to maintain a safe environment, so that even from the household to the community, small and large and so that's for me also, when I think about feeling safe and safety as well, is to know that whatever it is that I am doing and wherever I'm at and my being, I'm not creating harm to self or others. I'm not invoking that. I'm not involved in an environment or an action or you know, to cause harm to myself or to others. So safety to me means all of that as well.
Absolutely. I'm very thankful for you bringing that kind of perspective to the awareness of ourselves and those who are listening, because our environment is everything.
Right.
As I used to study both in a laboratory setting and also within the life setting. Right. Because in a laboratory you have many things that are controlled by the scientists. This is the only way that they conduct experiments in today's contemporary scientific environment, is if they can control something, quote unquote. A word on control. We are talking about power. We are talking about how you can control yourself. If you really love someone, if you really love yourself, control yourself.
Absolutely.
Control your emotions.
Absolutely.
Control your responses.
Absolutely.
Control the words that you select.
Absolutely.
Control your time that you spend. Control yourself. Exactly. This is a great exercise of love. This is a great exercise of gratitude. And so as we're speaking about the experiments that we have seen how both at the cellular level.
Right.
You can have the environment that the cell is in affect the cell, right, and have the cell start expressing different components of its DNA. So it will turn on certain parts and turn off other parts. Yes. It will change the way it is being just by changing the environment that it's being in.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to use, those words and these phrases always come to me when I hear those things. Evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So evolving. Let me hear something about that. Right. The cell actually evolves then.
Well, we would prefer the term revolve. Right?
Revolve.
Because this existence is a cyclical one.
Absolutely.
This existence is one that is infinite.
Right there with you.
All right. Yes. And so when we consider Charles Darwin's concept of the way that life is in bees,
right,
he will choose one where there is a evolution and there ain't no going back. There's only a constant upgrading of things that is happening. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very linear thought process. It's not thinking like a cycle. It's not thinking in the indigenous. Everything is like that. It's vibrations. Mm-hmm. We talk about radios. We talk about the waves. We talk about the circles. We talk about the cycles of who we are. Yes. So with that being known, the cell does respond to its environment and says, "Ooh, I got something in my cipher, in myself,
right,
which will allow me to balance myself more in this space.
Right.
So I will trigger this part of my DNA as a response to my environment."
Absolutely.
It is not known by the scientists today whether or not viruses should be considered living or dead. And it is not known to scientists today whether or not viruses are an emanation from within us or not. Okay? So what Dr. Bookman is going to say is make your own assumption. You choose for yourself.
Right.
But let's think about the plausibility of both.
Absolutely.
Okay? So let me think one moment for viruses, because your heart is going to know the truth. All the stuff that they say virus could do, and they say virus don't live.
Yes.
This is not alive? Okay, whatever. Let's say it's not alive. Oh, let's say it's not alive. If it's not alive, that means there's only a few things that are not alive. One way to consider things that are not alive is dead.
Right.
One way. Another way to consider something that's not alive is inanimate, not moving, not being. Right? We know that viruses is moving and being. They animate.
So
and we know that viruses is if we consider them not dead, there's something else, or excuse me, if we consider them dead, if we consider them not living, we also consider our ancestors not living.
Right.
We also consider our spirit, right? In the spiritual realm,
exactly.
There's the things that are quote unquote not living.
Right.
But when we think about being indigenous people, we know that there's no such thing as death. It is something where we share the living experience, and people and spirits are transitioning through this human being form, through this bat or great blue heron, or through this red-tailed hawk, or through the wind, or through the water, through the earth, through the fire, through the metal. We are experiencing ourselves in these different energies, in these different radio waves, as we're speaking to the community radio, the Caribbean community
radio.
Big up yourself.
I just have to say this, Oweda G from the heart right here. Special Friday night moment with Dr. Bookman and Empress Nunu. We're in the house with Master B and Farah. And so just talking, we're under the umbrella of Community Concern for Children and Families.
Thank you.
941 Miami Trail. And I have been so captured by the conversation, and the phrases that come to me, and as you were talking about the virus, as to whether it's living or not, it has life or not, and so I'm thinking about matter can either be created or destroyed. So the existence of the virus, so to speak, the fact that it exists and that it transforms, so to speak, and so whatever it is, I am thinking about the virus almost as parasitic in its, from my common way of explaining, the ability of the virus to survive using another living being to mobilize itself.
Right.
Yes. And so I'm just talking from...
Yeah, we could, because sometimes they say that, because more, when you think of a parasite, you think of one that's not giving anything and just taking or using and
also
abusing.
Symbiotic.
It could be symbiotic, right? It could be a dependent relationship also, right?
Exactly.
In which we are receiving something from the virus, because as was stated earlier by the Empress, the virus is a signal at times too to let you know something is incorrect or causing the imbalance in your environment and within yourself. Yes. So there's also theory, as we stated earlier, that virus can be an emanation from yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There are hundreds of millions of genetic components that today's Eurasian scientists will call junk DNA. They will call it junk because they don't have no idea what it is coding for, what it is used for, why it's there as a part of the DNA, because they don't see it being expressed very often. They don't see it being unlocked or spread out and being accessed to the ribosomes and the cellular machines that the virus will quote unquote hijack and use to make its own components and proteins and things like that, right? So there's no reason for us to think that it's impossible that the virus is actually an expression from within ourselves and then spreading itself out into the environment.
Especially when nobody knows on record whether it's alive or not. Science says we don't know. That's what it says. That's the bottom line in science.
Here is where my takeaway from that is, and you're talking about it's a warning, and to talk about the symbiotic relationship as opposed to a parasitic relationship is when we gain immunity, when we gain an immune system. Our system now has, what you call it, they inject this vaccine, let's say, so it creates now the antibodies so that when the virus, if it's a negative, it takes on a negative form to affect the body in a negative way, we now have built up. We have built now a resistance to it. And that's where the warning I'm talking about, where it's good for you in the sense that once it has happened, it not really good for you. Let me take that back. Once it has happened, the body has learned how to fight back. The fight back. And the warning and learning. In other words, you only know there's a war when the stuff starts happening. You have to see the war in effect. And so at that time, you know what weapons to get. Depending on the kind of war you're fighting,
because the T cells come out ready.
This is very important, is understanding when you are and when you are not in war. because whether or not we want to accept it, we might not be at war, but we in war.
We in war.
We're dealing with war on a human being level.
Absolutely, I
believe that. And at a microbial level, when we're talking about these viruses, we're talking about war. And so we have to equip ourselves properly with the right tools, the right weapons, and as was so poignantly stated by you, the body already makes its own weapons.
Exactly.
It already makes its own defense systems. It already knows how to balance itself. But we have to allow it to do so because, again, being sick take hard work.
And that's why hydration is important. And
self-reflection.
Reflection,
self-reflection,
knowing and safety.
Stay active.
And so we have two more because we're going up to 10 o'clock. So we're gonna close it at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, where we at right now?
We have one more.
Yeah, we have about
reflection.
We have two more.
Hydration.
Yes.
Active. Safety.
Active. Safety. So we have.
We
didn't
get into active that much, but that's on our list to make sure you keeping the heart rate up, making sure your thigh muscles are squatting every day, making sure you get blood flow.
All right.
Yes.
So what's number 5 going to be?
Number 5.
Boom, boom, boom. Number 5.
Poignant.
It's you.
We're gonna say
it's on you, Dr. Bookman.
Yes, and as we think about these again.
Yes.
And we recognize what's needed for people to survive in this day and age.
What about
go
nutrition?
ahead, speak.
Can I throw one?
Go ahead and speak.
And then we can expand it and you can take from it.
Yes.
Preservation, self-preservation.
So we can put nutrition and self-preservation.
Nutrition.
That is a form of self-preservation.
Come forward.
Come forward.
that is a form of self-preservation. Yes. Absolutely.
So I'm thinking about self-preservation as the umbrella.
Yes.
Under which all these other
all of these come under self-preservation. All of these affect our self-preservation. So this sounds like a complete list to me. Any one of them is going to lead you to the promised land. The promised land of loving yourself, of knowing yourself, of having a space of gratitude, practicing principles of ma'at, making sure that you practice those principles of truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, harmony, order, and balance. Be your best self. Stay hydrated. Reflect on who you are. Ask questions. Preserve yourself through these means. Make sure that you nourish yourself through these means. Make sure that you take the time to love yourself, love your ancestors. Be thankful for who you are and the lineage of people that precede you and the lineage of people that will come after you. What do you do with your life? What do you do with your time? Do you speak in a way that is true to yourself, or are you trying to constantly cover up who you are, constantly trying to not speak from your heart? This is why we hear on Caribbean Community Radio, straight from the heart, because this is straight from the heart.
Absolutely.
There's no pretending when you're coming straight from the heart.
Absolutely.
Be real about who you are and what you need as a person. Those people who are part of the diaspora, those people who are coming from communities that we consider to be Caribbean, that we consider to be underserved, that we consider to be Black, African, Indigenous, Indian, these populations. These are the people that we're speaking to harmonize, to cultivate the strength and confidence into your body, into your mind, into your spirit, because we need that once again. We need to make sure that we do for ourselves first. It is family first. And then we'll move from that center. Okay? We must do that. So take your time to hydrate yourself. Eat foods that are living, foods that have a dense, nutrient dense composition.
Avocado.
The spinach, Molokia, Egyptian spinach, kale, squash, and try not to cook down your food all the time. Try to eat it as close to its natural form as possible. That's what we mean by living food.
Weekly fasting.
That a little heat ain't gonna hurt nobody, but a lot of it will burn and kill you.
Destroy. Definitely.
Make sure you're fasting a couple days.
Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you this. This conversation cannot end here. No. We must continue this, Dr. Bookman and Empress Nunu.
Yes,
must. I want to say this, that you started before we even opened up the windows to the world. You were touching points of the body and talking about that. So our next conversation, please, because I know our people, our people need to know the self-efficacy. And it needs to be visual and practical. And we need to live in a practical and visible world where it makes sense. The one that makes sense. And so, I just really I cannot begin to thank you enough, both of you, for this enriched moment.
Thank you for having
Definitely. I wouldn't have it any way. I jumped at the opportunity. I absolutely jumped at the opportunity because I know this. My experience with Dr. Bookman, Dr. Atum Bookman, is one of definite of knowledge, wisdom, and getting some wonderful understanding, and I'm sharing in the simplicity with which you speak. It falls upon good hearing. It really does. And Empress Nunu, you are beautiful co-pilot. Beautiful co-pilot.
I do my best. Yes,
beautiful co-pilot. So as we come to, I'm gonna shift it away for a minute, close up a little bit. So we're gonna just talk. Just change for a little bit, but I just want to thank everybody, whoever, if you've joined us right here, Caribbean Community Radio, so with the G from the heart, a special Friday night moment. Just want to say really much love and thank you all for being a part of this today. Tonight, And if you really if you enjoyed it, please send out your express yourself. We look forward to hearing from
let
you.
Us know. Let us know. Reach out to the
really
family.
Give us some
absolutely
comments,
give us
some shares.
Yes,
share with your family.
Absolutely. Let us know what else you're interested in hearing about.
Absolutely. Because as she said, we're gonna be coming back talking about acupuncture, acupressure, the points on the body, things that you can really do for yourself to heal yourself, to abate any kind of anxiety attacks and things of that nature.
Yes.
If you need any services in the meantime, just please reach out again to Community Radio, Caribbean Community Radio, and we are available. You can get our contact through to Sister Oweda here, and then we'll make sure.
Instagram.
Yes, we got the Instagram, BoukmanMD, BoukmanMD, and we also will be coming through Balancing Being.
Absolutely, yes.
Balancing Being is here for all your wellness needs or services. We're going to make artisan handcrafted soaps, laundry detergents, things that are needed around the home space in order to have a proper culture of the viruses, bacteria, and cells that are needed in our environment. So we want to be gentle with them at the microbe level, all the way up to the level that we function in.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So you know what? Yes. You're talking about self-preservation once again.
That's
I'm seeing that and hearing it
at all times.
And so I absolutely I'm taking this opportunity to let you know, as we embark on this embarking on this opening up to the community in a more human resources and sources environment. Here is you can please, if you want to do your presentations, open up right here. Let us be, if you will allow us to be that, to share that moment with you and continued moment where you share with the community, because we have the space, definitely. And, Community Concern for Children and Families, From the Heart, Haitian MySpace, and all the programs that we have. We support them all. Yes, definitely. But we support what you're doing, and definitely if you could bring that into the fold, we would definitely welcome that, because that sounds like exactly where we would the kind of embracing that we want to do. So we're here.
That's right.
Utilize.
Thank you.
We have to stick. Those are resources, and that's that ecology of support. Even on the business level and the organization level, we have to stick together and work together.
Absolutely.
That's so important.
Absolutely. And so, yes, we will use that. If you will use, please use us as a platform.
We're going to be working together.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. And to the family, as we were speaking again about preservation. Just another word, because it is very tumultuous times. A lot of us will be uneasy, anxious, feeling depressed at times, feeling like we have no power or control over the situation.
Right.
Even though you may not have the power or control over the situation, have power and control over yourself.
Right.
Know what types of weapons you need in the war that you're trying to fight. If you're talking about a war that requires weapons that are firearms, you're going to need firearms. When you're talking about a war that requires war against viruses and bacteria, you're going to need lemons, you're going to need limes, you're going to need apple cider vinegar, you're going to need white vinegar to clean your surfaces
I'm
with.
just telling you,
you're
I'm
going to need hydration, water.
There's
no fear and scare around here.
We just need some watermelon, so I got some T cells. They geared up, they ready.
I do the hydration. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the
So please, family, arm yourself accordingly. Take the time to meditate and ask your ancestors for the answers that you need for yourself and for the people that you come from.
Right. Mm-hmm. Be blessed. We're getting right to that time. As I said before, this is dry throat cough,
love
folks.
And respect.
Yes, and
that's why we got the spirit.
I have
to gonna handle all of that.
That's right. I have to follow up with the water, ingestion of water, and not drinking water, because I've done that. Drinking the water on the spur of the moment and thinking, yes.
Oh, hydration. I'm getting hydrated now, right?
I'm hydrating, yes.
It takes time.
And I can actually feel the dryness in my throat because of all the talking, and I've been here for a while now in the talking. I've been talking.
So I'm the type of doctor. Thank you for the deliveries. Much love. Water's on scene. The water's on scene. Hydrate yourself, stay hydrated, and just a word, because I am not here to be your doctor.
Yes,
I'm here to help you be your own doctor.
Yes.
And so one of the ways that you understand yourself in hydration, again, like we said, one of the first signs is fatigue. The next sign would be headache. Okay.
Yes.
These, and then this will equate to brain fog. Those types of things are indicated that you're already dehydrated, not that you are getting dehydrated. That you're already dehydrated. When you drink water, your urine should not be yellow, looking like highlight or anything like that. I know the walls look nice in here, but this is not the way your pee is supposed to be looking.
Yes, don't make it
all right. You want, if you're hydrated, your fluid that's coming out of you will not have more than a tinge of yellow in it. All right.
Absolutely.
It should not be looking golden or brown neither. Yes. If you're talking about this, we have a severe dehydration. Absolutely. And you must not take it for a joke. Hydrate yourself. Absolutely. Don't go to sleep without that. I know it may be a pain trying to get up in the middle of the night, but you got to learn your body and time it properly where you get enough water in your system where, you might have to get up one time during the night. That's not a crime. That's the way your body is designed. If you got to pee, you got to pee. So go and get up. This is a major thing to do is hydrate yourself at all time points of the day. Right. Best time is to make sure at the top of the day you drink your water so that it can help you throughout the day.
Absolutely.
All right. So the recommendation is absolutely to be at a gallon, but we know where the family is at. Strive for the half gallon first. And if you can't get that, make it 32 ounces first, all right? Try. Do your best before you die.
And you know the thing about water, because that is so super important, so vital, is that many of us have, we didn't acquire the behavior, the habit, the attitude, the will, the self-care to drink enough water, and so many of us has to work on acquiring that even the taste of water.
That's right.
Even the taste.
You're right about that.
And so I remember being that person where water, I had to have my water flavored. Yes, I had to have it flavored in order to drink it.
Is she not telling no lie? We've been here.
Yes.
We've been here as a people. And it's necessary that we learn to love the basic taste of water.
Exactly.
Spring water in particular, water that don't have no ingredients. This is what we strive for. You want water. If you can't do water, make it a herbal tea without the extra sugar. Extra salt, and be mindful too. It's not our fault. we didn't get addicted to Kool-Aid and Country Time lemonade by accident.
Absolutely.
This was master marketing.
Absolutely.
This was pushed on us in heavy artillery form. We're talking about 50 caliber bullets. These commercials with heavy duty and promote. They promote in a very particular agenda.
And now that you have the phone, they never stop.
They never stop.
So heal yourself, please, people. Heal yourself out there. We love you. We know, and we trust you. Yes. To be yourself, to be your best self, to heal yourself. It is your divine authority to do so. Yes. Ask yourself the question, who am I? Where am I going? Where am I coming from?
Yes.
And am I God? Ask yourself that. Are you a reflection of the divine?
Yes.
Ask yourself that.
Right.
If you sit with yourself, if you breathe and you understand who you are, what you're made of, you are made of the divine, godly creation. You are nothing less than that.
Yes.
Be your best self.
Absolutely. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Such good. I feel really blessed to share this moment with you. I have gathered so much and talk about more self empowerment, empowering myself, knowing confirmation, gain knowledge, and I'm so much wiser for it because I'm able to put my layman term or conversation on the table and to have a response in knowing that my take on the matter or the subject is enough for me to go by.
Right.
So I know that I am on the right track, if for nothing else. I just need to make sure that I tool myself and make sure that my tires are good.
That's right.
And I have oil in my tank.
Yes, right.
And check the system is.
Yes, the system is ready.
All right, it's stable enough.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna give a shout out to Wealthy Life if you want to follow
the
Empress on Instagram. Wealthy Life. WHEALTHYBMT, because it's Wealthy Life by Mama T. So I just want to say, when you take care of that system, as my closing point, it will take care of you.
Absolutely.
And a lot of our problem right now, the media is just bamming us with a lot of inappropriate images.
Right.
Because when the news media goes in and they show a COVID patient being, what's the word? Resuscitated, that's inappropriate. That's something about that is not right. That should be alarming, because that's almost like a scare tactic.
That is trauma.
Yeah, that's trauma.
They should not be showing those intimate moments. This is somebody who's on their deathbed that they're publicating at an enormous rate. If this was your loved one and they pumping on their chest, would you want them to broadcast that?
Absolutely not.
If
that's
it was
trauma
to me. That's traumatizing.
Very much.
Absolutely.
So those types of images are not healthy. So we have to get our information, like you said, from multiple sources.
Right.
Limit the amount of, if you need your little news, get a little news, but limit that, because your biggest asset is you. Absolutely. So you have to take care of yourself, and it will take care of you. Stay hydrated, get you a rest. Learn to build your moxie for drinking water, for working out, and for eating more leafy greens, and also fasting at least one time a week.
Yes.
We recommend a KOY fast that is 6 p.m. on Fridays to 6 p.m. on Saturday, or 6 p.m. Saturday to 6 p.m. Sunday. Once a week.
Right.
Once a week. And on that day, you may want to get watermelon and only water. You may want to eat grapes and only water. Because you may not be able to do complete just water.
Right.
But only make it your point to only eat living foods. That's your first start. Just eat only living foods. Nothing cooked.
Right.
Just only vegetables and fruit. One day out of the week, a set of 24 hours, and get your water in. Life changing.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the real mask.
Folks, that's the real mask. Everybody, whoever's listening, I hope, and you please share. Please join, please share. And we are going to pass on the website and Instagram and all that good stuff. Please send me the links and stuff like that. Please. And so we can share it on our pages as well. And definitely, that open door. Welcome under the umbrella. We're here. And besides the umbrella, and definitely, our platform is your platform. Please know that.
Yes.
And I'm so thrilled. We are so thrilled. I hope whoever is listening, we thank you so much for being a part of the moment, this moment right here. Oweda G from the heart, and I have Dr. Bookman and Empress Nunu and Empress Nunu. Definitely. Much love. I don't know what time. We're just about 3 minutes away, I think.
Okay.
So we're gonna call it.
We're here with you at all times. We love you, family. We want you to be your best self, as we said again. Stay hydrated. Reflect. Make sure that you stay cool with yourself by understanding what security means, how you keep yourself safe, activate that spirit, because this is what we're talking about when we're talking about defending ourselves against non-living things. You must activate a type of spiritual defense. And then the umbrella for all of those things was self-preservation. CELLF. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Be your best self.
Yes.
Stay active.
Thank you so much.
Respect. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, thank y'all. Thank you for contributing. And again, to all of those who have been listening, we reach out to you and let you know that you are a part of our community. We are thankful for your ears. We are thankful for your time, your hearts, and your minds. And we share nothing but positivity with you.
Absolutely.
We want the best for you and your family. May you all be well. May you have abundance in this lifetime and not just the next or sometime after that. Right. May you be taken care of now. And you are the one who is going to take care of you, no matter how old, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter how tall, no matter how young. You have the power to heal yourself.
Heal yourself.
Yes, activate that divine authority.
Let's give him the big five one more time.
Yes.
Big five one more time.
One more time.
So stay hydrated.
All right.
Yes, hydrated.
Well, we was leading off with reflection.
Self-reflection.
Staying hydrated.
Yes.
Staying
active.
Yes.
Making sure that you stay safe. Right?
Yes.
And that's all under
self-preservation.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I'm going to tell you this. I am going to definitely change once again, because I've started it, my attitude about drinking water. And now, because I had that feeling, I was doing that, grab the bottle and drink, and oh yes, I'm doing something, and the behavior was not consistent. It's been like jaggedy, up and down from day to day, and I didn't make it a behavior of one with a goal, with the goal of hydration. The goal was just putting water in my system. Right. I didn't have the depth in the whole thing about hydration and what it really means about the living being and keeping it lubricated all over, right?
You're feeling it.
Yes. So now my takeaway is, when I leave from here tonight, lubrication.
That's right. Lube it up. From the inside out.
From the inside out. Yes. I'm going to be well oiled with water.
Full joy.
That's right.
Well oiled with water.
Yes.
And that's going to become.
I love the metaphor.
Yeah,
me too.
I should have been doing this already.
But you're doing it now, and so that's what we're proud of.
I'm definitely going to
get down on yourself.
I'm going to that. And I would be I would be a hypocrite if I would be telling folks to do the right thing and not follow through myself, because I need to lead by example for anyone. And so when you know better, you do better.
That's right.
So I will do that. Will be my takeaway. I want to thank you folks.
Yes.
Be blessed. Be truly blessed. So we did you from the heart right here with Dr. Bookman and Empress Nunu in the house with Master B.
Hey, and God Body GB.
And so we're going to call it a moment.
Yes.
Call it a moment. Be blessed, everybody. And thank you so much.
Straight from the heart.
Straight from the heart? Oh, yes. Definitely. Definitely. Yes. Mwah. Yes.
So that was awesome.
That was definitely.